Hey everyone, good morning. I wanted to stop in this Saturday morning and talk about, offer you the last training in quantum jumping. I just want to tie up some loose ends and cover a few things that I haven't covered yet. I have my big soft white sweater on because it's only 43 degrees outside, and I'm probably going to have to take this sweater off in 2 hours. It's going to be too warm to wear it. So I got up early this morning and put my warm sweater on so I can wear it. So I took you through the 5 steps of quantum jumping. Oh, hey, everybody's joining in. Good morning. Hi, Andrea. So good to see you. Linda, Sharon, Stacy. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Rick. So I wanted to tie up some loose ends. We talked about how to jump into, do quantum jumping, jump into a whole new reality, because all realities exist for us right now. It's just a matter of really, really understanding how that we are spiritual beings and living from that point. Everybody says we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, yet they're trapped into their physical experience when there's so many opportunities, so many possibilities available, infinite possibilities. So from this moment, we have infinite possibilities of what's available for us, all these alternative parallel realities. So all you have to do is define what you want, get the essence of that, how that feels, start living from that essence. Look over your past experiences. Past, I mean experiences you had as a child. All of those parallels are right now. Time is not linear. We are living time points. Each macrosecond, right, is a new parallel reality. And one is only related to the other based in our emotional attachment to it. So to make us more bouncy, to make us more wave than particle, we need to release the emotions that make us more particle than wave. Heavy emotions, lower survival emotions keep us in the physical reality as we experience it now. Hey, Charlie, thanks for joining. Good morning. And so releasing those, and then you can actually we call it time travel, although time is an illusion and there is no timeline. But after you release those heavy emotions, that traumatic experience, then you can reframe it in your mind, create a whole new memory of it. And I went through that in yesterday's training. Creating that new memory, replaying that new memory in your mind several times, journaling it, going back to that new memory, because it's your job now to anchor it in, to anchor in that new memory so that you're actually creating a butterfly effect, right? If you had an experience when you were 5 and it was traumatic and it has had a butterfly effect all the way through your time experiences, right? Your time points until this point, it has affected how you think, how you feel, the choices that you make. When you go back and reframe that, and your brain doesn't know the difference between a memory that you had at when your body was actually 5 years old and a memory that you are recreating in the now time point. When you go back and change that, it creates a whole new butterfly effect, right? So now instead of being a 5-year-old child having a traumatic experience that created fear and self-doubt, maybe caused you to shut down your heart a little bit, you're recreating this experience that does just the opposite, right? You feel loved, nurtured, and supported. And so that ends up having a butterfly effect, which becomes stronger and bigger over the time points that it goes through, right? So if you had an experience when you're 5, it changes another experience when you were 6, and on till your point now. And so you actually changed time, changed your past. People say you can't change the past. Well, you actually can, and you will feel the effects in your now moment having changed that past. It's coming to a point. The biggest obstacle I find with people is that the ego wants to hang on to that past, right? Because there's part of you that wants to be the victim. There's part of you that wants to be angry at the people who played the part. So you need to get real clear and create your vision and decide, what do I want to live? What is more important for me to live? Out of victimhood or out of mastery? And doing this work actually makes you a master, right? You can master this. You can quantum jump anywhere. It's really understanding that you are not the personality of Sharon. You're not the personality of Charlie, right? I'm not the personality of Michelle Lee. Who I am is much bigger. I am the soul, and I am having infinite experiences right now, and I can choose to hop from one experience to another. So I wanted to just kind of talk about a couple of things. I had a woman on another Facebook page who shared her experience about how she was so unhappy it was just a couple of years ago, 2016. She hated how her life had transpired. She was unhappy with her work. She was unhappy with her relationship. She was depressed. And she decided that she was going to quantum jump. And she had spent some days meditating. This is what she said on the Facebook page. And I'm actually going to see if she'll allow me to interview her on one of my lives. And so I can share, so she could share her story. She said she hadn't shared it before. There's a lot of people freak out. It sounds so weird about being able to quantum jump and have more experiences. Hey folks, thanks for joining. And this woman explained that she meditated with her heart and soul. She really, really just meditated so hard. And she said she had this vision of this Rolodex in front of her. And the Rolodex had all of these potential outcomes, all of these potential parallel lives. And she chose one that she had often thought about had she made different decisions in 2012. And she said she jumped into that. And that was in 2016. And she's been living that life ever since. So I'm going to see if I can interview her, because I have more questions about that. I would love to hear more details about how that experience was. It seemed like when she was explaining it that she didn't immediately remember that she had, hi Esther, nice to see you. Oh my gosh. She didn't immediately remember that she had jumped into a new parallel reality. It was like her memory came back to her through time. And then she remembered, oh, I meditated and I was having this experience, and now I'm having a different experience. So there's different ways to do this. It's not like you have to prepare for it. My quantum jump was this year, my biggest that I didn't expect. Happened on June 30th of this year at 1:09 p.m. I know the time because I looked at the time. It wasn't something that I was trying to do consciously. It was definitely something my higher self had orchestrated for me. And that day, I was feeling a lot of shifting happening. In fact, I was telling my boyfriend at the time and my son, like, today is different. Something is really going on big time today. I feel it. And so I could tell my story sometime, but that was my biggest shift. And I had no conscious decision about that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure my higher self had orchestrated that. And there were triggers set along the way that as I had one experience, it led to another experience. And it led ultimately to that major shift where I physically grabbed the table and I was like, I just time shifted. And my instinct was to look at my phone and see what time it was. And it was 1:09 Friday afternoon. And within a few days, everything kind of fell into place and I saw what had shifted and my life had to totally adjust. So that's one way that we shift, is that our higher self has orchestrated it beforehand. I don't know if it was before our incarnation or if certain choices that we made throughout our lifetimes, each decision point, every time we make a decision, a new parallel reality exists, right? We're constantly expanding. So even tiny little decisions, like do I meditate today or not? Or do I turn right or left at this street or not? You actually do both, right? There's a part of you that takes right, a part of you that takes left. Do I marry this guy? Do I not marry this guy? You do both, right? So there's the existence that you're married, there's the existence that you're not. So every time you make a decision, the parallel realities, the potentials multiply and expand with each decision. So now what we're finding, as our scientists have learned more and more about quantum physics, and they're able to observe the particle and the wave, and that everything is 99.99999% space, including us, that when we actually have the power to jump and to make choices and jump. What I find that can cause the greatest purposeful jumps are urgency, right? So there's stories of people about to get ran over by a semi at an intersection, and they jump. It's called wormholing, is that what that's actually called? And they will find themselves on the other side of the intersection, and the truck driving by, it's like a glitch occurred, and they wormholed through that experience when they should have been crushed by that semi, and they haven't. You can look up, if you search quantum jumping, if you search Mandela effect, you can find all kinds of information about this. In fact, the more you immerse yourself in the information, the more easily it will be for you to jump, because it's just more and more evidence for you that this is happening. This is happening all of the time. Time glitches, right? You look at the time, it's 11 o'clock. You go and do lots of tasks, and you come back, and it's still 11 o'clock. Those glitches are happening all of the time. So a sense of urgency, when that emotion is like, when your back is up against the wall. I mean, this is human nature. Things happen for us, whether you decide, I want financial relief right now. Good morning, Megan. I want financial relief right now. And you can time hop into a new financial experience. I mean, consider what money really is right now. Money is a few numbers that are on your computer screen, right? And so it's all very relative. It's very relative. So your higher self can orchestrate a jump for you. Urgency orchestrates a jump for you. And then if you just want to do the work in becoming a lighter being and start making choices, where do I want to go? The biggest, another obstacle I see people having is not knowing what they want, being fear. Oh, thanks, Megan. Megan says I look so beautiful. But that's my daughter, Megan. Thank you, Megan. So when you choose, is the biggest obstacle is not knowing what you want, being afraid to make a choice because you're afraid you won't like that. Well, we're ultimately time travelers, right? So you can decide what you want and play with it. Make tiny little changes if you want. You can quantum jump into a whole new experience, a new home, a new job, a new career, new financial security, new relationships. You can do that all at once, but play with it a little bit. Maybe you just want to quantum jump with a money experience. Maybe you want to quantum jump with a home experience. Play with it a little bit. You're not tied to anything, right? Releasing those heavy emotions makes you bouncy. It makes you bouncy. It makes you light. You realize that you are more wave than particle, and you can really move around. I recommend that My process is meditation. I meditate and I go into the void, right? Into the 0 point field where all potentials exist all at once, and relaxing there and going there, and then deciding into what reality you want to dive into. That's your vision. That's the vision I invited you to write in step 1 in the first training video. Dive into that experience. Embody how that feels. Embody how that experience feels for you, right? So you feel excited and alive. How would you feel? I would feel excited, alive, that I just, time hopped, that I am becoming the master of my experiences. I'm becoming the master of time. I'm becoming the master. That's always kind of been my underlying. It's like, I'm going to master this universe, right? I mean, we're alchemists, we're creators, we're the power and the presence of God, really. We're light beings, and we have this power. So you really tune into how that experience will feel, and you embody that, and you hold on to those emotions and make your decisions, speak as if, walk as the embodiment that you're living in that experience throughout the day. If you need to sit back down halfway through the day or in a couple of hours, it might be in an hour, right? A few things might happen to you. It emotionally triggers you. Those are just clues. It's like, okay, that's an emotion I have to clear. That's a fear I can let go of to make me more bouncy. And then you sit back down, you enter. The more often you do this, you can enter into that void more quickly. It's like, oh, okay, I just enter into the void, because that void is always available. It's what we're swimming in. It's where our experience is. And then you dive back into the reality where you want to be. You embody those emotions all over again, and you begin again. This is the experience. I command, I have. You get to make commands. You are the leader in this physical experience. So, hey, everybody, if you have any questions, you can type them in. I have a few more minutes. I'm going to run over to the chop shop. Well, hey, Bethany, I'm getting ready to run over to the chop shop and say hi and get myself some juice. So I can answer any questions, or you can leave questions in the comments, and I can come back to them later on today. And I think, I'm going to start inviting people on to interview who have had some quantum jumping experiences, time anomalies. It's just more evidence for us to begin living as the free beings that we really are. All experiences are available to us right now. We simply have to choose them. That's it. So, all right, everyone, you have a happy Saturday. I will see you back on live Monday morning. And hey, if you like this video, feel free to share it. Let's get the word out. Let's empower people in their spiritual states to create the life that we want on this planet, right? When the people who are loving and open and envision a peaceful, healthy planet, when they know their power, when we all really embody the power that we have, then we're going to create that planet. And it's happening now. Have a great day. Do you ever literally see and feel major leaps? Yeah, Sharon, that was something that happened to me on June 30th. It felt like waves coming over me, and everything got very blurry. I was sitting in a restaurant with my boyfriend at the time and my son, and that was the day, everything felt very magical. I had just published my book. I got the first copy of it in my hand, and I felt something shift there. And I had told, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had told my boyfriend, I said, something has changed. I feel different. And a few hours went by. I did some other things, and I kept getting signs, right? That like the universe was literally speaking to me. And then that afternoon, sitting at a restaurant, I felt the shift. I grabbed the table and I literally said, "Holy shit, did you guys feel that?" And of course, my boyfriend and my son just kind of look at me with blank stares like, "What, Bob?" And I said, "I just time shifted. I don't know what changed, but I just time shifted." And so I picked up my phone and I saw that it was 1:09. And went about the day. I mean, I was super excited. I knew that something had really changed. I didn't know what. It took a couple of days, and what had really changed. And I hesitate to share this because I don't want people to freak out, but this was a jump that my higher self had orchestrated. Who knows when, maybe before I incarnated, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 30 days before. And it was a shift for me to step into my destiny of the work I'm here to do on the planet. I've known from a very young age that I have felt that I'm here to do big work on the planet. And having my book published and my message in written form ready to go out to the world was a trigger point for that. And so throughout that morning, I was being flooded with memories that, oh yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. And at 1:09, something shifted. And on Sunday, that was a Friday, Sunday, I was sitting down to do some work and I was on my Facebook page and there was an email that I had not seen before. And it was an email informing me of my boyfriend's indiscretions. And so that's what shifted, before, but without going fully into it, that email came into my inbox at 1:09 on June 30th. So that was a trigger that changed everything. And so the trajectory my life was going on, in that moment, on everything, what occurred at 1:09 on June 30th changed the trajectory of my life from that point forward. So I had gotten that email, my boyfriend's indiscretion, so that changed everything, right? But for me to live the destiny that I had planned for myself before incarnating, he is not included in that journey. So that email was the information that I needed to know that this is not the person to share this journey with, that he was, and we're friends, right? We're friends. But he is not, he's not in the vibrational frequency to accompany me on this journey. So that was a major shift. That was a boom. And I've had since then, since I've been working to create the shifts, I've had littler ones where I can see, you feel different. It's like, okay, everything's the same, but I just changed my financial experience. And I always ask for signs. So like my wallpaper on my phone was completely different. And I even asked my son, who looks at my phone quite often, I said, do you remember this on my phone? And he goes, no. And so that was a telltale sign that something had shifted. I often get like the washover feelings, kind of like a dizzy feeling when something shifts. I don't always know what it is, but here's what I do know. I am protected and safe. I'm constantly being redirected on my journey, right? Where I need to be to fulfill my destiny. So I know that I'm literally living my destined path at this point, and the triggers and decisions I made up until June 30th triggered that for me. So I'm super excited to share this with you, and I'm super excited to help people really own their Megan says, I think that screensaver changed just a day or two before some large income days. Yeah, definitely. It was like, it was the Monday. yeah, it was the Monday when I decided, okay, I'm shifting this. And I made a conscious choice to look around for what's different. And then, yeah, a couple days later, I had a major income shift. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Megan. So you look for that. So I'm here. I want to hop off of here, but I want to, if you have questions, share the video. Contact me at athenarisingnow.com. I have a contact form. Contact me on Facebook if you have any questions. I do open up my phone lines. I work with people to learn how to do these quantum shifts, how to release the past so you're not tethered as this personality, and you can start moving more freely in our infinite potentials. So have a great weekend. I hope you're having an awesome holiday season. I'm going to get outside in my big white fluffy sweater while I still can and go have a lovely juice from the chop shop. Have a great day. Talk to you all later.